Hello friends and happy Sunday. It is, I don't even know, January 29th of 2023. And I have done some work since my final update in this last week's video. I don't remember how much though. So I'm just going to show you where I currently am. I have completed all of my book prepping. So these are all the small books, and then I have all of the long books ready to go. And I'm about to start mix and matching them and making my groups of 4 for the block. So that way on the long books, I can put, the pieces on one end or the other, and I can start getting those together. Then I can lay out my blocks, pick my layout, and then I can cut my sashing and start putting the quilt top together. So there's all of that. And today at some point, I need to take better photos of my String of Hearts quilt so that way I can get that posted. But yesterday was Support Your Local Quilt Shop Day, and I needed to go in to pick up the UFO papers from the shop here in town. Anyways, and I was meant to go on Friday, but I got off of work a little bit late, and then I went for my walk, and then the store was closed. So I went Saturday, which was really fun. So I went and I picked up a spool of thread, and I picked up some of this fabric, which I thought would be really fun for my UFO block that I'm going to be making for the little schoolhouse thing that we're doing that I need to prep for. So I'm trying to get the book nook quilt done as much as possible before I absolutely feel like I can't finish it and I have to switch over to prepping for the schoolhouse night, and then I can come back to book nook. But I'm thinking that working on it today, and then I have 2 more days, I can possibly get book nook done. But on the 1st, I'm switching to working on my UFO block and not working on anything else until I get that prepped for next Monday night. So February 6th. Yeah, Monday, February 6th, because that's the night of our meeting. So, yeah, if I don't finish book nook before February 1st, I'm switching to the prepping for the UFO block in its different stages. So that way I can do my booth. And then I'll switch back to book nook once all those steps are completed. But so I picked up some thread. I picked up that kind of circuit board fabric because I think it'd be really fun to put in the UFO part. But if you went and made a purchase yesterday at our store, she had this really awesome fabric. I don't know. Does it say who it's by? It's called, it's by Wyndham Fabrics. It's called Shop Local by Another Point of View. So I don't know how new or old this pattern is, but it's just a bunch of really cute little shopping bags that all say Shop Local. So I think it would be really fun to do something at some point with this. Yeah, probably just something really small, like a little wall hanging or something. I think it'd be really cute. So I got a free yard of this fabric, which I think is such a really awesome little promotion that she did. So yeah, that is where I'm at right now with what I am currently working on. So I'm going to be matching these up. So my goal is to, in every block, so there's 13, my goal is into every block to not repeat a page fabric and to not repeat a book fabric. And I have 6 fabrics, and so yeah, we're going to work on that, and I will check in with you in a little bit. Bye, friends. It is Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Tuesday, January 31st, and it's my lunch break. but I'm just too excited. I started prepping this last night and I just really want to get started. Am I done with my book nook? No, but the sooner that I get this finished, like the more my brain will feel like free to continue working on my book nook. However, I did finish 5 out of the 13 book stacks and they are super cute. So let me just go ahead and show those to you. How cute are these? Like they're turning out because they aren't done, but they are turning out so well. So all of my books have 2 small books, except for one print has 3, and it's the Dark Daisies, but yeah. And then 3 of the prints, 3 different prints. There's 7 of the larger books of that one. And the other 3 prints only have 6. But I will say, because I've already paired all of them up, they're like grouped. I just have to, like I said, I just have to go through. I'm putting on the top. So as I chain them, I'm putting the top on the first one. And then in the next, I'm adding the end to whatever I picked as the second book. I'm putting the end to whatever I picked as the third. And I'm putting the end to this one. And then in the next chain loop around, I'm putting these 2 blocks together, these 2 blocks together. And then the next chain, I'm putting the 2 sections together. And then in the final one, I'm adding the bottom background piece. So I'm really happy with my background. I was a little iffy of it at first, but it really is helping the fabrics like pop. The other thing is that I was able to not have any books repeating prints and to not have any of the page fabrics repeat in any of the blocks. So I'm so thankful that my brain was able to like figure that out. But okay, so let me turn the camera downwards. Let me do this and I'll explain as I go, because I have to disassemble it to reassemble it. So okay, so this dark star ruby star is going to be my my top layer fabric. So I wanted to make a UFO and I wanted to have some extra like stars where fabric would shine through. So yesterday I cut down my top layer to a 12 by 12 and with a dressmaker's pencil, so a white pencil, I doodled on the back my design that I wanted. So you can see it a little bit better. So I doodled out my UFO and the stars and the moon, and then I cut them. Okay. And then what I did was I then placed this over a larger piece of muslin. It doesn't have to be the exact same size yet because we will cut it down. I doodled with a friction pen. So I flipped it right side because that's, I wanted to doodle it this direction because I don't want to flip it the other way because then the saucer would be over here and I wouldn't put the fabrics where I actually need them. So I flipped this right side over the muslin and then I traced onto the muslin my design. And then what I did was I went through and I pulled remnants. So some of these are selvages. Some of these are just like little cut-offs from different projects that I've worked on. So I think it would be so cute to have the little octopus inside of the little spaceship. He's actually going to have circuit board fabric around him that I picked up from the quilt store. It's the only non-ruby star. But so I've just kind of wibbly wobbly placed the different fabrics. And so what I'm going to do, it's going to kind of be like building out a crazy square, where a crazy square block, you have like a 5-sided piece, usually velvet, but you don't have to do velvet piece. It doesn't have to be in the center. It can be off-centered or whatever. And you start building off of it different lengths of strips. Now you can create your own strips, which is what I'm going to do right here. So, but for some of these, like the little stars kind of out nowhere, I'm just going to tack this down around that star point that I have doodled. So that way I know once I put the top layer over it, that cutout on the top layer will be covered. And same thing for this skull. I think it'd be cute to, or funny really, to like line up this little skull. And so I'm just going to tack it down around it, like a little bit wide. So that way you won't see the stitches on the front side, but then I will trim down the excess. So it works very similar to a crazy star. So anyways, I pulled my scraps and I just started picking where I would like the fabrics. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the beam, and I'm going to work from the bottom down, or the bottom up to the spaceship. Or actually, I don't know, maybe I should work from the spaceship down. But I think it'd be really funny to have this banana here, but this star is in line with the strip. So I'm going to just attach these about where it needs to go. So that way it will actually, you know, be a banana, and then we'll have this yellow bit for the star over here. So I'm going to work on building out my beam, and then, because again, these are going to get trimmed as we go, especially on this side. So then once all that gets trimmed, it'll be trimmed to like this. Okay. It'll get trimmed. And then I start building my spaceship, and I can start going this direction for my spaceship. And so some of my diagonals for this part of the spaceship, I can actually tack on for that guy. So that's kind of like what I'm working on, but I thought it'd be fun to like show you kind of how you build it out. And so they don't have to, these are definitely not the same width, but since this chunk isn't going to show, it's going to be underneath that top layer in the end. So then once I get all of these pieces tacked down, then I am done with this project until after my little red schoolhouse session next week at my quilt guild. And then after that, what you do, you can either hand sew it or what have you. But basically, the concept is raw edge applique. You can also just place this down, and you can tack it down with glue or pins, or you can do like some simple like base stitches that you can eventually like take out. But basically all that you do, so see, it lines right back up. Maybe a tiny bit off, but it's closer than not, which is fine. The fabrics will cover up a little bit more than what is doodled, so that'll be fine. So then you just follow the edges of your designs to tack it down and make it one piece. And you can add a little bit of extra quilting around the outside edges, and then you so I would tack these down, and then I can add batting and a backing. I can do a little extra quilting, free motion quilting if I want to, out in this spacey area. I could even do it on the inside, but I might not, just so that way it enhances it even more. And then finish it off, and then I have a little mini quilt. So this is what I'm doing, but for the lesson next Monday, I just need this piece, and then I'm going to explain the concept while also showing this like ready to go piece. And I might even bring a couple of scraps and like do like a smaller, like a heart or something, and show how you can do it with a couple more like scraps from like start. So that way it makes more sense. But yeah, so I am going to get this ready though. So this is like my big feat. So I need to have this done and prepped for next Monday. And then, like I said, I may prep like an even smaller one where all of the steps are kind of like broken down further. just to show it a little bit better step by step, but I want to have this one pretty close to completion so they can see that, and I can overlay that and they can see the vision come to life in the little lesson. So anyways, I just wanted to explain that to y'all of what I'm doing, but this is going to be my goal. This is what I need to have done by next Monday. And I said I was going to start this on the 1st, but I needed a little bit extra like creativity this week. And like, you know, so anyways, I want to go ahead and get this done, and then I will feel a little bit more freer to go back to working on the book nook Sal, which I also would love to complete by the end of this upcoming weekend. So, which I think we can totally do, especially if I get this knocked off of my my to-do list. Hey guys, it is Thursday. I did not mean for this video to take 2 weeks. But last week I started feeling very overwhelmed, and then the book nook quilt kind of took a detour, not as planned. It'll be fine. I'm gonna pivot, adjust, and just roll with it. And the quilt isn't going to be exactly what it is supposed to be, and that's fine. But because of that, last weekend, I did a lot of cross stitching, actually. I've been working on the temperature Sal averages for Daniel. And I am trying to do a page finish because since I know all of the temperatures, I wrote all of the dates on the pattern, and so I can jump around if I want. So that's what I've been doing. So I have January through April finished, and then I have September through like most of October, and then I started November. But I need to do some of the motifs. Ooh, that light behind there. So that's how far I am with that. Yeah, making progress. I need to do this starter motif. And then down here is the little flyer toy and the cat. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited, but I almost have 50% done, which is really awesome. So, yeah, so I've been working on that. And, yeah, so basically I got, and I'll do another clip probably tomorrow because I'm getting really tired, to be quite honest, and I don't think I'm going to craft tonight. But this weekend, I have to. This weekend, I want to finish the book nook top just to get it done and kind of be done with it, honestly. I still love it. It's still going to look really good, but anyways, I'll get in. Actually, you know what? I'll get into that tomorrow. I'm too tired. But this weekend, I want to finish that. I want to run down to Montgomery. They're having like a 20% off all month sale. I want to go ahead and get that yard of the 2 different prints from Maureen McCormick's first line to piece the backing for my String of Hearts quilt. I need to make a practice block to make the Steelers baby quilt. And because next week, middle of next week, I start another test quilt that I forgot that I signed up to put my name in the hat for, and I happen to get chosen. Luckily, it's for a wall quilt, and we have 5 weeks to do it. But yeah, I can show that fabric. But yeah, I think I get the pattern next week. I think. And so I already have my fabric picked out. And so like on the timeline, like next week is like fabric picking, and then like the next week is cutting. Anyways, we have 5 weeks to make a wall hanging, and so we can kind of do it whenever we want. in that 5-week time period, as long as we get it finished. So but I need to get the baby quilt done in the next like week or two. So I need to get Book Nook kind of like done, because I got really frustrated. And then this week, all the work stuff. So last week, at the end of the week, I got really frustrated with the Book Nook quilt. And so I started cross stitching, and I just had like nervous energy, and I just had a lot like going on like mentally and stuff like that with the work changes this week. And then this week has just been mentally exhausting because it has been a lot. I have been running around in meetings, talking to random people that I normally don't talk to. I mean, I know them, I talk to them, but I don't normally talk to them like on a regular basis. And I'm kind of floating between 4 different teams and 2 different divisions right now. It's a bit much. Hopefully we'll start getting like our footing like next week really, but this week was a really good, like we got thrown into it. We're finding our ground. We're figuring out our system and how we're going to do things, but it has also been very crazy. So I also this week started a new fasting schedule. I started a super restrictive ingredient list for my food, not for dieting purposes, but as an elimination diet. So I am cooking my meals with like 10 or 12 ingredients for at least the next month. And so that has been really interesting. So hopefully that will help us like start figuring some things out in the next couple of months. So I'm going to be doing that for the next couple of months actually, to detox everything out, have a super like simplified palette that should cause no irritation. Should not cause any irritation to anything. And then in like a few months, we can add an item back in that might be causing issues and test that. And then take it away again and see if I notice a difference, and then add another ingredient that we think might be causing an issue. And anyways, it's going to be a very interesting year of testing some of those things, but if in the long run, it 1, helps my health, 2, helps figure out which foods I might be irritated by, and, you know, helps overall how I feel mentally and physically, and also the added benefit of my new workout routines mixing with that to get back on the weight loss train. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad about it, but it is gonna be interesting for a while as I get back used to it. I also this week started the cash envelope stuffing method, and so far I'm really liking it, but it is also kind of weird and hard to like pay for everything in cash. I mean, it's how I used to live, cash and check, and paying only in cash the last like couple of days, which I haven't done much. I had like a team lunch and I bought an unsweet tea because I was fasting that day, and so I drank tea, and then going to the grocery store. So I haven't done much, but it's still interesting. So yeah, hopefully I can cut ties with my cards. You know what I mean? Obviously you still sometimes need your card, but anyway, so it's been a crazy week and I just needed some days off. Guys, please stop. Oh my gosh. They're fighting. Daniel won't leave her alone, and she is not backing down. You know, if you would just get up and move, he's not going to follow you because he's too lazy. Okay, so we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a night. And I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. I'll see you in the next clip. Hey guys, it is now Friday, February, I don't even know, 10th. And yeah, let's talk about, I can't remember if I've already shown the fabrics for my new test quilt. I can't remember. So you're gonna get to see them again. I might have, dang, but it's okay. So these are it. I'm gonna be posting about them this next week because that's when we get the pattern and we can start, well, I can start posting fabric teasers now, but yeah, the designer doesn't want us to post too much about it or reveal what it looks like until it's out. So that's as much as you get. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is my Book Nook Sal, and this one I've already leveled. So basically these blocks, all the pieces were the right heights and lengths before I put the blocks together, and then they shrank. I think that part of it is just, I think part of it is honestly using art gallery fabrics. I love them, but maybe for something so intricate, I shouldn't have picked art gallery fabrics because they just have this like slip to them. They have a particular type of stretch to them that really only goes one way. And since I wanted my fabrics to go a certain direction, most of the prints, sometimes directional prints go the length of the fabric, and sometimes they go length of like the bolt. So whenever you have to like flip-flop them like that, the stretch goes in different directions. And because theirs is very unique, it doesn't always go the same way. So anyways, I think that that's kind of what happened with this. And they were, well, I have a couple that I haven't trimmed up yet because I need to finish putting them together. But yeah, they're like they're anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch off. So what I am doing is I made sure that the top of all of the rows were lined up. So all of the tops of all the rows were lined up, and then I evened them out. I evened these up. I shrunk them basically. So some of them you're going to see a tiny bit of this curve, and some of them you might see a little bit more of that curve. Anyways, it was the only way that I could kind of salvage this because I don't know where the mistakes are. Like I said, the pieces were all correct until I put them together. And I think it's honestly like there's just literally no stretch, I mean there is, but it all goes different ways. So see, like this one is more stretchy this way and this one isn't. So it leaves it for like kind of like a wonky donkey type block. And most of this fabric, these turned out the right length, but most of this fabric, because I did it directional, all of their stretch is going the same direction, majority of it. Like this would be the only thing that might not be. So anyways, this is why I took a little break from this quilt, and I just didn't want to work on anything because this is so spread out. I didn't feel like putting it up to work on something else. So, so this weekend in particular, like today, the rest of today, anyways, I'm like jumping around for a second, but that is the reason why at the end of last week, I needed to put quilting on a timeout because I knew what I needed to do to pivot and to just move forward because I don't have the budget to buy more of any of these fabrics to redo sections. And I don't have enough to redo stuff. And I don't even know what I would redo because I did everything exactly correct. So I don't even know what I would change. So to try and make it work. I think it's truly the direction of the fabrics with this particular fabric company. And like I said, I love these fabrics, but I think maybe I did a little bit too much fussy cutting. I don't know. Somewhere I messed up, or the fabrics didn't want to play nicely with how the directions that I wanted them to go. It is what it is. Things happen. You have to learn to pivot. If the most that I lose is like some of them don't have like this curved edge like on the final, then that's totally fine. Like this one's will be completely gone. This one on this end, there'll be a little bit. But you know what? I had kind of already come to like the conclusion of being okay with that because it would make them all look a little bit different and like unique. But I needed some time away from it to be settled that I really was okay with it. And there was also no turning back because I trimmed up 2 of the rows. So there was no turning back. I just got frustrated and I didn't want to put more rows together to trim down more rows. But I'm going to suck it up. And tonight I'm going to finish those rows and then I'm going to put them together and I'm going to get this quilt top done. I'm going to get the quilt top done and then I'm going to take the backing because I have to cut the backing in half and then sew it back up together to make the backing. So I'm going to prep the backing. I'm going to get the quilt top finished. Maybe not all tonight, but this weekend. That is what is happening this weekend. And before I mess with anything else, I'm going to put all of my Marine McCormick scraps, the ones that I'm going to do the scrappy binding with. I'm going to put all of those in a bag so that way they're contained for whenever I get it quilted and I get to the binding. But I'm going to take the larger pieces and I'm going to create the backing for that as well and go ahead and get that taken care of. I did go to Kim's today and I picked up this fabric because I'm either going to be half a yard to a yard short on making the backing. So she had 2 prints in clearance for this line that I really wanted. One was this one and one was this print, but the green background with just the white floral. I don't know if I don't think I have any scraps of it left, but it's a really pretty green. And it said that she had some, but we couldn't find it. And so it's fine. I just got a yard of this one instead. So I'm going to basically build the backing for the String of Hearts quilt with the yardage cuts that I have. And so this will be really nice to add like another like yardage cut to the backing. So I'm going to also prep that. Then I'm going to organize and clean some of this up because this is a hot mess from doing a ton of testers at the end of December and January, and now we're into February. So I want to clean this up. And then I'm going to fill it up. So I want to cut out the base pieces for my scrappy spools. I want to at least get, like a couple months worth of background fabric and spool fabric cut. So that way, as I can make some of those and start getting to that. And then I need a bin. I'm going to cut my Deco Cat quilt, because, while I don't know whenever I want to start it, I want to go ahead and get a bin dedicated to it. And I am going to make a practice block for the baby quilts. And then that's going to be like my next thing before this test quilt gets started. I want to make that test block with the curved ruler. to make that baby blanket, because I don't have a lot of extra to play around. So it's the So Kind of Wonderful Wonder Curve ruler. And you can make these like butterflies. You can make flower-ish type things, but you can also make so you take the butterfly, you see, like if you moved those two halves together, the center would make the center would make the that like weird curved star, like the Steelers star. So anyways, so yeah, I want to make a test one to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I cut into her fabrics. So I'm going to use scraps. But yeah, so I need to get some stuff put away. I need to pull a couple of scraps to try out this ruler. And I also, because I'm a sucker, I am also going to join the quilt along called Pocket Full of Posies by Angie Clark. She is a local designer. Her patterns are available at Montgomery Quilt Company, I think exclusively, and you can buy a paper copy or a PDF at pre-cuts.com. And yeah, so the pattern is $12, and all of the fabric right now, this month, fabric from Montgomery, oh my gosh, Montgomery County Quilt Company. No. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why can't... Anyways, it's literally on the bag. Montgomery Quilt Company. Why do I keep on wanting to add county? Anyways, I digress. Local designer. She's actually in the shop today, and I got to like hang out with her for a little bit, but this is her newest one. And they're about to start a quilt along. So it calls for 9 fabrics. I'm not doing 9 fabrics. I am doing 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm doing 6 fabrics. And I am doubling up some of them. Yeah, because 3 of them are just in these squares and in these flying geese. So I'm doubling up some of the prints that are going to be around the main print. So this is what it looks like. Again, you can get paper copy or PDF from Kim's store shop, which is pre-cuts.com, and join the SAL with us. And there's also, if you follow Kim's Montgomery Quilt Company, why do I want to keep on saying county? Facebook group, they're going to create a second group that's like linked to it just for this. And, okay. So anyways, I absolutely love this. I love this print from this line. This line is called Pickle Juice. It's by Figo Fabrics, and this line is by Dana Willard. And Kim had 3 of the prints, but this is like my favorite from the line. So it's this really cute daisy print with olive greens and like dark teal greens and stuff, and it has this bright punch of orange like in your face. So this is going to be my focal print, which is like in the centers, and I mean it's throughout there. So that's going to be my focal print. My background is going to be this beautiful teal. Okay, I'm so excited. The cornerstones and the hot pink like outside kind of diamond border is going to be this ruby star. I wanted to do it all solids except for like the focal print, but I really like this one, and I think it adds something to it. So this is going to be like what frames it all in, okay, and adds just a little pop of something, okay. And then this is where I'm doubling up my colors. So the three colors around the centers, so this lighter one, this darker one, and this purple color, I am doing black. I'm pulling out the orange in the center of the flower, and I'm doing an olive green. And I'm doubling it up to also be these blocks down here and the flying geese. So, I'm keeping it very simple. So these are my 3 other colors. It's going to be stunning. And that orange is pretty much the exact color in the center of that. So that's the other thing. This is starting towards the end of the month. So, I want this to have a bucket as well. Also, for the temperature stitch, I needed some more 3822. So I went and I picked that up. And Suzette from Instagram, I don't know if she watches my videos or not, but she follows me on Instagram. She sent me a bunch of Snoopy Peanuts books from the 80s that she found. And then she also included this in it. So it's cats and flowers. And it's these beautiful, like, you don't stitch them. You stitch like random parts of them. I'm just going to like flash one just so you can like see. So you stitch them on white fabric. So that way they look like white cats. I mean, I guess if you had a black cat, you could stitch it on black, or anything like that. But it's these beautiful like flowers. And then, there's this one with like a calla lily. The front one is roses. This one kind of looks like peonies maybe. And then this one is really cute with the daisies and the butterfly. So they're all white cats. So anyway, she sent this to me because obviously they reminded her of Potter and she knew that I would really like them. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it. At some point I will have to stitch these. And then at my Quilt Guild meeting, I was given this book, Cats, 20 Fun Fabric Crafts. And so, it was originally Barbara Priest. And so, it has been now gifted to me. So there's a bunch of different projects. There's like smalls. A lot of this is applique though, which I don't really do, but there are some like cheat ways to do applique. This one is actually pieced, but look how funny some of these are. Like there's a cat a month. It's really funny. And they're ballerinas and they're like fishermen and football players and kind of basically like the YMCA guys. And then there's a pattern in here to make these like standable cats. I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about, but like there are some people had those and they put like a sand or like a rock bag or beans in the bottom of them and they used them as door stops. Like I know people had them like in the 70s and 80s whenever I was a kid, into the 90s. I don't know how many people still have them, but anyways, there's some really cute ideas and stuff in here and patterns that all have cats in them. And then you get the patterns to trace or cut out and do what you need to do to make all the different things. So yeah, that's pretty fun. So so like this one is pieced, but like some of them are pieced, but then there's obviously some that are applique. I think that's about it for this week. This weekend is mostly about getting these 2 quilts finished. Well, okay, finished, ready for quilting because I have the stuff for their backing. I want to get the tops finished, which I only have 1 top to finish this weekend that is on my list, 2 backings to prep, and then just picking up and cleaning up this area, getting the top 3 bins ready for the Pocket Full of Posies Sal, my test quilt, and my scrappy spools. Actually, my test quilt probably won't take up a bin, But the top 3 bins, Scrappy Spools, the Pocket Full of Posies, and the Deco Cats. And then the baby quilt and starting the test quilt will be my next 2 like focuses. But the test quilt starts this next week and I have 5 weeks. So I have a little bit of playtime with that. And I have 4 sets of blocks to finish for the exchange, but those have to be finished by the end of March. So I do still have time for those, but I just want to keep them on my mind. Anyways, that's where I'm at. It's a little hectic. It's a little crazy. And yeah, the work stuff has just been a little insane. It's been a crazy week, but anyways, that is it. I'm going to let you go so that way I can put this together, get this uploaded, and I can get a whole bunch of stuff done around my house because I need to do that. And then, yeah, those are my priorities for this weekend. And there should be a video next week. Like I said, last weekend, I had to put that in timeout. I think on like Thursday is whenever I got like discouraged. And then I cross-stitched all weekend. And then this week, I just kept it really like low key because I knew this week with work was going to be insane. And it was. So, yeah, I didn't mean to skip a week, but that's why. So anyways, I will see y'all next week. And I hope that y'all are doing great. Let's talk in the comments because I miss you guys. And, oh, happy early Valentine's Day. Anyways, I'll see y'all next week. Bye, guys.